Hey, what's up my friends? There are two crucial things you need to know about this rangefinder before you spend your money on it. I'm going to talk about those two things in just a second, but first, let's go over some of the features and what it's like to actually use it. I'm also going to answer the most common questions on Amazon around battery life and the modes that are available on this rangefinder. This is a fairly simple looking and simple operating rangefinder, but there are so many options. And this video is a little bit difficult, I will say that right from the beginning, because I can't show you what the display inside the rangefinder actually looks like. The camera won't work that way, but you'll have to trust me when I say this thing looks beautiful through the rangefinder, through the optical, and it gives you so much information in a very easy to read way. So let's start with the outside of the rangefinder. So first off, you obviously have the eyepiece right here. The thing to know about the eyepiece is that when you first get this, you're gonna wanna dial in the focus. And you may need to do it each time you use it, depending on conditions. So if you're using eyeglasses or sunglasses, it's gonna be different than putting it up to your naked eye. So in order to do that, you just simply twist the outside of the optical right here, and that's gonna give you the ability to focus in. If it's not focused correctly, not only will your image be blurry, but all your information on top of your image will also be blurry and hard to read. So if you put this up to your eye and it's hard to read that information, make sure you adjust the focus in order to see that the best way that you possibly can. Also on the back side right here, we have the charging port. It has a little rubber door because this is waterproof. Of course, if you're gonna be out in the rain or whatever, it needs to be waterproof. It is a USB-C port. It does come with a very short USB-C charging cable, but any USB charging cable will work fine for this unit. Also here, you have a magnetic plate right here. So obviously you can just slap it onto the side of the golf cart when you're not using it, and then it's readily available for you anytime you want to use it, just by pulling it off, putting it on that magnet right there. It also has a really nice grip to it. That's important. These are nice grippy rubber. This is an expensive piece of equipment that you don't want to drop, so that's not nothing. Now you have three ways to operate this. You have a power button, you have a mode button, and you have a slope switch right here. Now, in order to turn it on, you just give the power button a quick touch. That also is your distance lock. So once you're looking through it, you grab the object that you're measuring the distance on, you just push that power button quickly, and that's gonna lock out your distance and give you an idea what it is. Now, when we talk about locking in distance, there's a lot that goes into that, and it has to do with the modes. You also have a mode button right here that you can switch through modes or dial in your settings as well. Now, this thing has a straight line mode, which means and that's when this is off right here, that's straight line mode. And what that means is when I'm measuring, it's gonna give me the straight line to that object. When I have this switched on, meaning it shows green right here, that is my golf trajectory compensation mode. So basically what that's gonna do is it's going to grab the distance of that object, and then it's going to compensate for the arc of a golf ball and give me a closer reading to how much distance that golf ball actually has to travel to get there. So if I read a straight line and it's 150 yards, if I do the golf compensation, it might read 162, because that's how far the ball actually has to travel in order to get to the object that I'm scoping out. That's super helpful. You also have vertical compensation if it's on. So you can switch to the vertical compensation, and it's gonna read if the object's uphill, obviously it's a different distance, and if the object is downhill, it's a different distance. So it's gonna read the vertical difference as well and give you a reading according to that as well. And you can dial all of this in the mode. Of course, you can change from meters to yards. That's really simple. The other thing is that when it's locked on its object, you're going to get a vibration that lets you know that it read it, and you now have your distance. There's also pin lock or flag lock as well, which I use all the time when I'm golfing, because it's super helpful. Because when you look through these things, you're not super steady, you're not perfectly steady, and it's going to read a golf pin or a golf flag and lock into that distance rather than read something else that you accidentally hit. When you were looking through this and accidentally moving, not accidentally, but like your movement may have locked into something else. So this is going to identify that golf pin and let you know what that distance is. Now it also comes with a really nice hard case as well. This is the case that it comes with. You obviously want to protect this when you're throwing it in your golf bag or backpack or whatever. This thing slides into it really nicely. It has elastic right here, so it can't open up too much. That means this thing's not going to accidentally fall out. Now, if you're also using your case all the time, like when you're out on the course or out hunting or whatever, and you're pulling it out a lot, you don't want to zip it every single time. It also has this quick latch, which is super nice because that closes up the case, but it's quick to get it out and pull your rangefinder out. So I've loved that they built that feature into this to protect it as well, because I want to make sure that this thing is always protected. Now, the other feature that I didn't mention that I've never used, well, I've used it just for fun, but this is more of like a hunting feature, is it can actually tell you how fast the object that you're clocking is moving. And you can dial that in on your settings as well if you're using it for that purpose. So I have absolutely loved having this rangefinder. I find it to be very easy to use, very easy to read, super accurate, low light. The low light performance on this thing is out of this world. So if you're playing a dusk round and the light starts to go, you're not going to get incorrect readings based on the light, and that's been really helpful too. I didn't talk about the two opticals, but you do have your sending optical here and your receiving optical here. Basically, it sends out a laser bounces off the object, comes back, and that's what gives you the reading. So you do want to make sure that those are clean and clear and that it's well maintained to get those accurate readings. So absolutely love this thing. I hope if you grab one that you enjoyed as much as I have. Thank you so much for watching. Peace, everybody.